June 2nd, Chris Steinecker, living the dream. How are you, sir?
Look, you're looking good, Joe. I've just noticed you are in your office again. So
I am.
you're healing up, and you cleaned your office. You like got a new shirt on.
I
It
cleaned
might even
the
look like
camera portion of the office is immaculate.
okay. So
Yeah, over
it's
there.
not the whole office.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we pan over, we will see it. But then you got a nice new clean shirt on, and it looks like you got a haircut too. Is that? I mean, so
I
you're
did. I sort of, yeah. We did it. It was a family haircut, and we started with one member of the family who I will not disgrace, but started to see some hieroglyphics kind of coming in over there. That some of them were even a little bit rude, I would say. So had to fire her and brought in my 10-year-old, who started on the other side, and he insisted I say "Bah, I'm a sheep" as he was doing the thing on me.
oh yeah,
And then, depending on how funny I said it, with how much he was laughing, I kind of got a bar graph now on this side that's sort of charting
nice.
something. So, yeah, I need to see a professional soon, but we're living raw here. So here we are.
Hey, you're looking good. That's the COVID life. And hey, your family got a chance to do something they wanted to do for a long time. It's take the blade to you. So they had a chance to do that. So you look good, buddy. And I'm glad you're feeling well. And I'm glad you're back up and running. You know, everybody is reopening. Things are going well. And let me show you the numbers in a second. But we also had some good news about the governor extended the eviction protection through July 1st. So that gives us some more breathing room for those who still haven't gotten back to work yet to make the resources to pay their bills. But let me just show you our numbers for the day too, because we've had a little bit of a change and I just want to explain it to everybody as well. So I'm going to share the screen. All right. So Joe, you can see for the first time in a while, we now have a red block under the weekly percent of positive cases, where we have now a couple days in a row of the daily average cases. We were hovering over 20. Now we're bringing it back down to 18.7. But we did see this increase. Now this is our weekly percentage. So I have some more backup on that. I just want to make you guys aware that we did see a little bit of an increase, which is why we do this, is why we want to be real honest about what we're seeing. You can also see we've changed the scorecard a little bit now, just to include just what we're calling unemployed people. So now this indicates the number of people this week in Pinellas County that are receiving unemployment benefits. So we're at 63,000 folks that are still needing to get back to work. So we still have a lot of work to do. But on that 1.3 number, let me just show you. This is at 1.3 here. You can see it ticked up just a hair. We have been traveling down. This is your weekly average. So this is why there's some dates missing. When you and I first started seeing this around my birthday, April 11th, we saw it up to high as 7. And then as we see this kept going down. Now it's spiked up just a little bit. It's something we should all be noting on. Remember, we wanted to keep this under 6%. Our goal personally was 4%. So we're still way underneath the number. But this is just a reminder to everybody again that this is still a virus that's out there. It's not going away. So we got to protect ourselves. And so this is how you get to that number that just went up. These are the daily numbers. And you can see why it went up just a little bit, because you had a 2-point number in here and you had a 1.9 number in here. So that's going to bring your numbers up a little bit. But overall, you still see us trending on less than 2% on a daily basis, which is important as well. Our COVID-like symptoms seem to be coming down. And after, over a long haul, the flu does as well. So our healthcare professionals are excited. We have more ICU beds today than we have since I've started to show this to you. I'm optimistic about our hospital bed utilization as well. So to me, everything still looks like we're in the right place at the right time. And as long as those who can still wear the flocking masks, for those who can't, let's keep doing it, because I still feel like we're ready to keep moving forward. And so that's a good news story. You're showing it by cleaning up your office. So I still think there's some opportunities here. And what you and I have started to talk about are the schools around. We talked about St. Pete College, how they're going to come back. And I think yesterday we talked about USF St. Pete and that large campus and what they're going to do. But there's others that bring people back. And I thought it'd be interesting to talk to Jason from the Suncoast Developers Guild to just talk about how they teach and how they're doing through this and where they're heading.
Hey, Jason.
So there he is now, the man. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
So I love your background. It looks like you are indeed still hunkered down at home. Tell people, introduce yourself. Tell people who you are.
Yeah. So my name's Jason Perry. I'm the CEO over at Suncoast Developers Guild. We're a code school here in St. Pete that teaches software development. And yeah, here's my son. He just woke up. Um, yeah, so our campus is located in Grand Central, right there on Central Avenue. We're across the street from the LGBT Welcome Center. We host a lot of meetups and stuff for the community on our campus, as well as offering a full-time immersive course in software development.
Great. Well, we appreciate it. And so I can tell you from home, how old your son was? He in school?
He just turned 8 this weekend. So,
all right.
Yeah,
so he's out
for summer as of Friday, although really, I think school's been out for a few months for him.
Yeah, it's got to be hard. We talk to a lot of parents that are trying to teach and work and figure all this out. So
yeah, we're fortunate.
Yeah,
we're fortunate that my wife is able to stay at home with them. But it was definitely it was interesting.
Beautiful. So I've been to your facility a couple of times for demo days. You've had me speak a few times just to the students, and to me, it's one of the cool things, one of the gems of St. Pete. One of the great things about St. Pete is that we have our own school, like what you're doing, and you were in the middle of a cohort right when it hit, right? So walk us through how a group like you, who've got active folks on campus trying to really work hand in hand together, how did you guys fare?
Yeah, so we're an immersive program. It's full-time, 9 to 5 for the students that are in there. We had 17 or 18 students in the program when the news hit. So as a policy, we follow the public schools for emergencies, so weather emergencies, hurricanes, and that kind of thing. So we let the students know in advance that if the public school is closed, that we would be closing our campus as well. And then the following week after we made that announcement, the public schools did in fact close. We thought initially it would just be for a couple of weeks, and it turned into the rest of the cohort. We got in Zoom, which is what we're using right now, and that worked pretty great for us. We started using Remo as well for lab time, which is video conferencing where there's different tables that people can move around to. And that helped keep some of the social cohesion going. That's a big part of the experience when students are on campus, is being able to work alongside of each other and work on projects together and freely ask questions to each other, which is a lot harder when you're in a separated environment.
Right.
So we tried as much as possible to keep that culture going. We were fortunate that the students had already had some time in person together to establish that rapport with each other. We had a new group of students just start 3 weeks ago. It was a smaller group of 12, but they've been adapting pretty well to everything so far as well.
Great. And the school itself, your business model, were you able to get any relief funds? I know we had the Fighting Chance and the PPP from the government. Were you guys able to apply for any of those?
Yeah. One of the things for the city we were not eligible for because our the area that we work in just wasn't one of the qualified businesses. But we were able to get PPP funds, which in the second round, the first round went before I blinked and it was gone. And we were already in the process of getting the application in when that happened. But we were able to get in on the second round, and that's going to help out a lot. Enrollment for the second cohort was okay. So we probably would have squeaked by without it, but we're in an okay position right now because of those funds. So.
Got it. Cool. So you guys, so you had to go to this online, and I've heard of, I know we Zoom. I know that we had Open Table here in the community, but it sounds like Remo is very similar, where it gives people another chance to kind of get in these breakout rooms and work together. So, we heard from USF St. Pete yesterday that, from Dean Stree over at the business school that, that there are some lessons learned good on this, which was that they could scale and actually do better and maybe offer more if they can still figure out how to offer that experience. So tell me what you guys throughout this kind of stumbled on is like, oh, wow, we might keep that as part of what we do.
That's absolutely what we're doing. The going online and being able to offer remote classes was always sort of in the roadmap. This just accelerated that. So we had already talked about how we would do it. And we found that the transition went so smoothly, we might as well keep doing it. We have to be licensed from the state. So we're licensed by the Commission for Independent Education at the Florida Department of Education. to run our classes, and we'll need separate licensing for that, which we will be applying for. So yeah, so as soon as all this is over, we'll hope we'll be able to continue offering the classes online. One thing we've wanted to do, we have no interest in expanding our campuses outside of the Tampa Bay area. Suncoast Developers Guild, right? The name kind of implies that we're locally focused. But I would like to be able to attract more students from outside of Tampa Bay to Tampa Bay. That's another part of our mission, is to make this a really strong community for software developers to want to be. And I think by offering these classes online, that's part of that. We've got some other ideas and stuff that we're going to be working towards over the next couple of years to build in that direction as well.
Gotcha. So part of when I go get to see the demo days, what I'm always struck by is what you offer, because it's so immersive. It's 9 to 5. It's like their job, because what you're really looking for are people who may have had a different career or had different experience in other pieces and realize they weren't looking for themselves. They were trying to find their passion. And so you bring them into this. So it seems like there might have been, you might be ready to do some marketing right now, because it seems like the world has just kind of retrenched and thought about themselves. So do you see yourself, have a big opportunity, I would imagine?
Yeah. There's definitely, as dark and grim as all of the last few months have been, there's a few silver linings for us as an organization. One is that there's a lot of people who either by choice or by force are reevaluating their careers. Software development has, up until now at least, always been a pretty recession-resistant field to work in. And we're hoping that people will want to switch to that. There's a lot of employers who had to let people go, and they're going to be rehiring again at some point. And we're hoping to help our graduates kind of get in on that as well. So
yeah, it seems like one of those jobs too for people who are getting used to working from home and stuff. It seems like if you get good at it and you're talented and creative enough, that people will let you create your own environment to do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a software developer by trade. Before I ran this school, and for a couple of years before that, I was teaching software development for another organization. I was a software developer myself, and I had worked from home for over 10 years. And I told myself I would never commute to a job ever again. And then I fell in love with teaching, and I was doing that at an in-person program that's very similar to ours. And when that school shut down, that's when we founded Suncoast Developers Guild in its place. And so, in person is kind of a big part of that experience.
You guys have shown how resilient you are, because when the other one shut down, you guys didn't miss a beat, and you came through and kept this kind of asset for our community. I think great cities have a great organization like you. So thank you for doing that. But you guys, so now you're thinking through, you've got another cohort, a smaller one, but still a robust one that's in the middle of it. But you guys have other things that you think you can do for our community. So you've got a special announcement that I'm going to try to squeeze out of you before you put out your press release.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, cool.
So we have a hackathon coming up. It's going to be our first semi-annual hackathon. We've, over the last 5 years, our campus has hosted dozens of hackathons, but we've never put one on ourselves. We've just sort of played host. We're going to start throwing our own probably twice a year. The first one is coming up at the end of this month. It's probably almost certainly going to be entirely online. We're keeping the option open to have some, to open up campus to people who are comfortable coming on campus to work, but that's still kind of a TBD. We have 3 themes or sort of causes that are going to be part of our inaugural hackathon. The first being pandemic preparedness and recovery. So not just specific to COVID-19, but how can we best be prepared for the next pandemic? But also, if teams want to focus on COVID-19 as well. Another theme, which, as it turns out with the events of the last week, is also very timely, is inclusion, diversity, and intersectionality in the tech workforce. And the third theme is going to be smart cities and building a smarter, more connected Tampa Bay. And specifically, how can we build IoT and smart city solutions that help our city's residents, but without hurting their privacy? That's one of the issues that we see with a lot of smart city stuff, is that it can be pretty invasive. So can we approach that from a privacy conscious perspective? That will be the third theme. We've got cash prizes. We're doing 9 awards total, so it'll be about $6,000. Each category will have a main prize of $1,000. The runner-up team will get $750, and for people who enter solo, not in a team, there'll be a solo award in each category for $250.
And just for folks who may not know, can you briefly explain what a hackathon is?
Yeah, absolutely. So a hackathon is when developers and designers and people who typically build products for a living get together for a weekend and or a week. Sometimes it's longer, and they team up. And there's usually a theme of some sort, or maybe multiple themes. In our case, we have 3, and they try to solve problems. Sometimes the stakeholders or sponsors of the hackathon bring very specific problems to the hackathon that they want solved. And sometimes people are left to sort of choose your own adventure, which is the approach we're taking. We're giving them 3 different directions, and we want to see what they come up with in response to those 3 questions. And a lot of times you don't get a full and complete product built in such a short period. You get sort of an MVP or a minimum viable product, or even just like the roadmap to a really great idea. Occasionally, things that come out of hackathons end up spawning real companies, and people grow out of that. So that's sort of what a hackathon is, and a lot of times there's food and prizes and stuff for the participants.
So you have a chance on this one to actually get more participation in the virtual hackathon, right? I mean, because you are limited by the space and location, but if we get the word out, we can have folks from around the world working on it, right?
Absolutely. We could probably host around 100 people on campus between upstairs and downstairs, maybe 120. With the online part, we'll have it'll be a lot wider open.
The Catalyst is huge in Uzbekistan, so expect to see a bump from there in attendees. It's a weird anomaly, but.
And if I can share my screen for a second, I can show you all the sort of the website that we've got.
Yeah, do it, please.
Yeah, let me open the Zoom here. And yeah, so this is the website for the hackathon. Like I mentioned, these are the 3 areas that we're going to be focusing on. The cash prizes. We've got the schedule that's still kind of subject to change. We'd like to serve meals and everything on campus for the people that are participating, and keep campus open 24/7 during the event. But that's going to be kind of up in the air whether or not we're going to do that. We'll see how things look in a couple weeks, because the event's about 3 weeks away.
And you're using summer solstice because it's the longest day of the year, so it gives them more time to hack away, right?
Yep. That's sort of the theme. And if we're going to do this semi-annually, we might as well do winter solstice for the other one.
There you go. Well done. Beautiful. Well, I'm so proud of you guys for, first of all, keeping moving, keeping going, staying open, bringing in a new cohort, and then planning this for our community and the rest of the world to participate in St. Pete. And you got the right themes too. I mean, you couldn't have nailed it better as far as what we're all focused on. And so we appreciate what you're doing in St. Pete. For those of you, I don't think we ever mentioned where your campus is. So just tell people where their campus is. So when you are,
yeah. So we're in the Grand Central neighborhood in St. Pete. We're right on Central Avenue, directly across the street from the LGBT Welcome Center.
Beautiful. All right. So now you know Jason. I'm glad. Thank you for it, buddy. And thank you for, we want to be a really diverse community and inclusive, and also just, make sure that we have the right kind of jobs. And we are successful bringing good companies here because we have you. Just so you hear that loud, because when people go, where am I going to get my programmers and workforce for? We say we've got folks like you that are teaching people all the time. So you have such an impact. You ripple throughout our community. And I just want to say I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for being on.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.